Hi, you're watching Dog Ear Musings, and you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, holy crap. It's getting close to the holidays, and there are some people on my list who have said that they got me gifts, but I forgot to get them gifts, so what do I do? And this video is to help you find the bookish people in your life, the gifts that they'll actually enjoy and won't stay on their bookshelves, dusty and musty and collecting stinky smells. So I'm gonna be pulling from my favorite holiday/birthday memories of years past, of favorite books that were given to me and why they really resonated with me, in hopes that they will spark some sort of gift-giving inspiration. You're really late, friend. The first book to come up, if you haven't seen my channel yet, and if you have seen my channel, you'll be familiar with this book. This is Priia Krishna's Indianish, which was given to me when I was in my undergrad of college by my mom. Now, why this book was really important for me was this book was given to me at a time when I really wanted to feel connected to my cultural identity. My mom's side of the family is from India, and when I moved away to Minnesota, I was really missing my food, and I had no idea how to cook it. And so one year for my birthday, my mom sent me this book, and it was one of the ways that I really felt like I could connect to my culture in a way that felt not super intimidating. So really take a listen to what your friends and families are saying that they're interested in. Maybe it's cooking, maybe it's music, maybe it's harpsichord, and find a book that really resonates with something that they're wanting to get interested in, and maybe that book will really jumpstart them into actually getting started into finding a new passion that will stick with them for their life. Or it will fill them with guilt, and it'll sit on their bookshelf and they'll feel sad. The next book that was given to me as a gift that really stuck with me was Hit Parade of Tears, which is a collection of short stories by Azumi Suzuki. And first of all, just look at this cover. It's so cool. And this book was given to me by Ivana, and the whole reason why I love this book so much, besides it just being a really cool short story collection, is this book really reminds me of my journey and my adventure hanging out with Ivana and Kat. It reminds me of a really, really fun weekend where I got to hang out with them. So if you're with a friend and you have friends over for your holidays and you're going to a bookstore or something and you want to commemorate that moment with someone and you have the means to, why not commemorate that moment by finding one of your favorite books and giving it to them? It'll stick with them. Another book that was a present that was given to me that has really stuck with me for years is this book called You Matter by Christian Robinson, which was given to me by a person who I think really matters. This is to say that picture books are a really lovely way of getting a very simple and caring message across. Maybe it's a book that you read a lot when you were a child, or maybe it's a contemporary picture book that you've never read before, but you think that the message really resonates with you and your loved one. Picture books are a really great gift to give to somebody who doesn't read a lot, or maybe they do read a lot, and it can really hit that nostalgia factor. Or it can be something that is new and cute and a short, quick way to share a message that you love them. Another gift idea for books that you can give that really will resonate and stick with a person is by giving your favorite books to your friend. Now, I love it when a person suggests or gives me their favorite book because it's a really good way to deep dive, I feel like, into kind of what that book tells about that person. maybe that says a little bit about me, that I like to overthink and overanalyze people by the things that they like to consume. Hence this channel. Some of my favorite gifts have been from people who I love who've said, you should read this book. It was my favorite and it reminds me of you. And these are two of those books. One book is a book that I talk about all the time, and you're gonna be like, man, oh man, when is Monika gonna say Jhumpa Lahiri, and when is she gonna say The Namesake? Well, it's now. So this book is a book that was given to me by my mom. Again, I feel like most of my favorite book presents have been given to me by my mom. And the reason why this book hits so hard is The Namesake was a book that when it came out, it was a book that really resonated with my mom and her sister, and it really felt like a story that kind of hit for my family. And so when I was old enough to receive my own copy, it felt like I was kind of given permission to be, like, actually feel like I was a part of the women in my family in that sense, if that makes any sense at all. It was kind of like a coming of age like moment where I got to actually read and enjoy Jhumpa and have my own copy, and it was just a very cool moment. Like, I felt like I was invited into an exclusive club, which is now a Lahiri cult. So that was one. But another gift that kind of sparks that same feeling with me whenever I look at it on my shelf was actually a gift given to me by my sister. And this was Ruth Ozeki's A Tale for the Time Being. I knew that this was special because this was a book that resonated with her. And so I was really excited to read it. And this is a book that has stuck with me for years and years, ever since I read it. And I think it's going to be it's a book that like won't leave my head, just because at the time, and I think still, that book ripped open a new narrative. I think Ozeki is I think how she writes is very new, and even though she is an experienced author at this point, and has been writing for a very, very long time, I think the way that she writes is always exciting and challenging and very unique and different. And so when I read that book, it was inspiring to think about all the new and unique ways that people could read. And I think for me, when I look at it, it reminds me of my sister and kind of my connection with her. Another idea that I think about is if a friend or a loved one talks about books that give them nostalgia, whether it's like favorite memories, it's a book that like connects them to like their childhood or maybe a pivotal moment growing up, and make sure that they don't have that book in their collection, or you can find a new edition of maybe a book that they have a lot of copies of. For me, someone I care about a lot a while ago had asked me about a book that I really loved, and I told them about this one specific copy of A Wizard of Oz. Now, Wizard of Oz is pretty basic, but this edition of Wizard of Oz kind of is next level. It's this L. Frank Baum and Robert Sabuda pop-up book of The Wizard of Oz, and just like the pop-ups in it, I'll show you a couple of them. Like, just look at that. Just look at that. I got this book when I was 8, and my mom is a bit like Marie Kondo, and she would just kind of go through our bookshelves and get rid of stuff that were old. And an 8-year-old with a pop-up book, this book didn't last very long because it was well loved. So this book kind of got its love and then it went away. This person who I care about a lot recently gifted me this, and I felt myself transported back into that 8-year-old who was so excited and entranced by the magic of these pages, and it feels like a bit like time traveling in the best sense when I get to pick this book up. And it also is really nice in knowing that this person I care about took the time to really listen, because I brought that book up in what I thought was kind of a throwaway conversation that was 2 seconds long. So really, I guess when I think about it, go deep, deep, deep into your mind bank and think about those small little mundane conversations that you've had with your friends, and think about those memories that your friends bring up. And those are some of the best gifts, because they show that you took the time to care. I don't know, I'm weirdly competitive when it comes to gift giving, so anything that I'm like, oh gosh, this person's gonna like cry when they get this gift, brings me joy. And maybe that's the Scorpio energy in me coming out. Hopefully you've taken some inspiration in some of my past gifts that I've gotten. Of course, this comes with the caveat of capitalism, and do what is in your means. So if you don't have time or money to buy a gift, that's all right. And you can always give an IOU. That works too. This has been Dog-Eared Musings. I'm Monika. And when all else fails, guilt someone out. Happy reading.